Hi, this is Ali, and you're here again watching the Painless Brazilian Portuguese Pronunciation Guide. As I said, I'm Ali from PortugueseWithAli.com, and today we're going to study the sound O, which is kind of hard because it doesn't exist in English. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to talk about the sound O, and you're going to see the sound of the symbol here on the screen somewhere. You might think, oh, but I know I can reproduce this sound. It's very easy because I have it in English. Not so fast, friend, because this sound in English doesn't exist in isolation. When we have the sound, for example, the word no, you do have a glide here in the pronunciation. Let's say it slowly. No, no. You see that your jaw moves up and your lips are round and close, and there is this glide between two vowels like oh, and we don't want that to happen because it's actually something different in Portuguese because it's a different pronunciation. We're going to talk about that in a moment. In Portuguese, when you have this glide in English, oh, you don't let that happen. You just say the first part of the word. Let's try it. Oh, 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 oh. And that's not very easy. I have to recognize that because it's like mingled together in English, but in Portuguese it's actually two different sounds. And I have here some examples of spelling and where this sound occurs, and you'll see that right now. Let's use those words. One very common word is avô, avô, and that means grandfather. And many people, when they say, oh, my grandfather, they actually end up saying my grandmother because it sounds really similar. In a future module, we will work on that difference and you'll see how you can improve that. But it's just avô, the pronunciation. Next word, eu dou, eu dou. See, doesn't move. Eu sou, eu sou. Some Brazilians might contend and say, hey, it's written like S-O-U or D-O-U, and you have to pronounce, or you have to sound out all of the vowels. Bollocks, it's not really that. You can say so, okay, but so is what you're gonna hear in everyday conversation. You really want to hear people saying, eu sou americano, eu sou brasileiro, sometimes, but only when they want to emphasize that and when it's in relaxed speech. If you want to know a little bit more about that, go to the article in my website, www dot. It's hard to say that in English when I think in Portuguese. PortugueseWithEli.com/pronunciation. That's the guide, or that's the web page where the guide is hosted. Now, next word. Que dor. Okay, next. For example, sentence. Te dou o meu apoio. Do apoio. Do apoio. Those are two very important words. And as I said before, we do have the sound, the combination o, u, o that you have in English, but it does make a difference when it's used in the word. For example, you have colcha, colcha. That's a long o sound. And you go to KFC and eat coxa de frango. Delicious. I think it's a bit salty. I don't really like that. But you know, when you want to eat junk, you can have coxa de frango do KFC. And the other word is colcha. And you see that there's a glide. My lips close. They round and close eventually. And colcha, colcha. That's like the bed sheet that you have, like coxa de cama, por exemplo. That's something you have to pay attention to because if you say eu quero a coxa da cama, that would might say eu quero a colcha da cama, and you were like, oh, I'm gonna put chicken legs on the bed. Not good, right? So you have some more distinctions of those sounds in the next module about the difference between those two. And also, you can find some PDF handouts in the website. You can download that. You can listen to the recordings. You can also practice repeating the words because there are lots of recordings there. Now, let's move on to the next module. Thank you.